Alexander, you are the youngest person so far that I've had on for an interview. Can you tell the audience your age?
I am 15.
Very cool. So, the reason I invited you on is because I saw some wins from you in the copywriting campus. Could you explain what they were about?
Well, I've got a few wins from my clients previously. I was doing some email sequences and some Facebook ads.
Okay. And how much have you made since joining the real world?
13,000 pounds.
And what time span is this?
That's 4 months.
4 months, £13,000 as a 15-year-old.
Yes.
Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you.
Did you have any kind of copywriting experience before you joined the real world?
Absolutely not.
Interesting. Okay, so you joined the real world, joined the copywriting campus. Tell me, what was the experience there? Why did you decide to go into copywriting? And then what was the biggest challenge you faced initially?
Well, I've joined the real world because I've seen Andrew Tate popping off on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and also on Twitter. And that's when I initially was starting to think about joining the real world. And when I've initially joined, I've chose copywriting because it was beginner friendly, and you also don't need to be 15 years. You don't also need to be 18 years old. So that's why I chose it. Yeah.
Right. Okay, and then what was the biggest challenge you faced when you were first starting out?
Well, standing out when many people, well, basically many copywriters started to outreach from the real world. And that's when I've noticed a big problem that prospects are getting spammed with those emails. And that's when I've realized I need something that stands out. And I've created a absolute killer of an outreach. And that's when I got my first client.
Okay. So with your first client, was it an issue that you were 15 years old for them?
No, actually, no. I've showed my expertise. I've showed up as a professional, and they've noticed that. They knew my age from the start, and because of that, they were a little skeptical to go on the call with me. But after I showed my professionalism, yeah, they were keen to work with me.
Interesting. Could you give a bit more of a rundown what happened during the actual call? Like, were they surprised at how well conducted you were?
Well, the call was actually really short. What I've done on a call is I've gave them a really precise strategy they can use as a form of free value inside of the call, and and they were actually pretty shocked. And they basically just said that send me an invoice. And yeah, we started working together after we worked out a deal for me to write an email sequence for them.
Right. Love to hear that. And what would you attribute that professionalism at such a young age to?
Uh, I think the lessons that all of the professors give me and were given out to everyone in the real world, but also the accountability with many other members of the real world, the brotherhood, well, taught me a lot about being professional, being a high value person, and potentially attract other high value people. Yeah.
Right. What specifically did you watch Arno's lessons on that, or was it just Andrew Bass?
Well, I've watched Arnold's lessons on that, yes, but there was one specific message I've received sorry, well, everyone received on apprentices lessons in the real world in the copywriting campus. It was from a apprentice called Hilltop, And that's, well, basically he taught everyone how to be of a young age, but still to show up as a professional.
Right. Yeah, Chris spoke to him before. Very
Mm,
nice. Good to hear that you're finding value even from the apprentices.
yeah,
There's professors, apprentices everywhere, value. Okay.
yeah.
So is English your first language?
It's my second language. Yeah, well, I've lived in England before, but I identify as Polish, actually. Yeah.
Were you born in Poland?
Yes, I was born in Poland. Yeah.
Okay. So was copywriting a struggle at all at first with English not being your first language?
I don't think so. After studying in England for a long time, I've developed this form of talking, which allows me to, well, communicate freely with other people. But also, I believe copywriting is more of psychological battle, well, verbal battle between a client, between the audience, and between you.
Very interesting perspective there, especially for your age. Nice.
Mm.
Okay, so I'd like a bit more on how many clients have you acquired since starting out, and how much were you paid for each client?
Yeah, so I've acquired 7 clients. Well, the first ones were really about somewhere from 100 to $700, but my highest paid client was 3,400 pounds, so well, dollars. Yeah, so it's somewhere between this number now. Yeah.
It's so crazy to hear. 15 years old, 13,000. I love it. Okay, so how different has the material been in your experience going through the real world, through the copywriting campus, compared to maybe what you can find out on the internet?
Well, you can, well, basically many different influencers say that the value, well, that the real world is not professional, which I absolutely disagree with. I was actually kind of shocked because I've received value so much higher than this $50 that you need to pay up front. That, well, that it was just the best investment I ever done in my life. Probably I will ever do. Because now I've gained so much knowledge, so much, well, experience that I can go out in the world and do a lot of things now.
Right. What do your parents think about what you've done?
Yeah, I'm really proud that especially my mom. She basically knew from start that well, my hard work is gonna pay off. So yeah.
Great. It's great to have supporting parents like that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did the community have any kind of impact on you?
Yeah, well, the community I've experienced in copywriting campus, especially in my legion, was so impactful on, well, basically my journey. Since I basically believe that it's my brotherhood. It's kind of my second home because I've acquired so many friends and so many uh, brothers, basically, that we all support. They all support me, and I support them all in their journeys. And yeah, that's what counts actually. We all support each other.
Right. And then the Wins channel, did that have any kind of impact?
I remember I was scrolling once at 3 a.m. Before I ever landed a client, and that was actually the day I landed a client. And I was scrolling through the Wins channel, and I was looking at a person. I forgot who that was, but he basically made a win for $4,500 from one client, and I was intimidated. I was a little bit jealous, Well, I was jealous, and I knew that I want to make even more, and that motivated me to eventually land a client, which was actually the same day. Since after I saw this win, I've outreached like 50 people. So
Very nice. I love it. Okay, so how different does your average day look like now compared to before you joined the real world?
yeah, it's changed a lot. Yeah, I still go to school every day. So yeah, that's a sad part actually for me. I enjoy school, but I believe that they don't teach you as much valuable lessons as they actually teach in the real world, since you can't actually use the knowledge you get from school to actually just produce cash. But yeah, now actually everything in my life is kind of going in a good direction. After I've joined the real world, I feel that everything, yeah, starts to make sense now. But also everything is now about self-improvement. It's like gym, reading books, and working. So that's all I do actually after school.
And how many hours were you putting in when you first joined, and has that changed since, considering you're a full-time student?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the real world, when I first joined, I was blown by value, but because of well, my old habits, I was still lazy for like next 3 weeks after I joined. And after 3 weeks, I finally realized that I was basically wasting the money I've put in. So I've actually started grinding, and yeah, I was spending about 8 hours after I came back from school. So like literally from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. I was spending just on copywriting, and that's how I've managed to land my first client. And when I've noticed the first money, and I was so motivated to keep going forward. And yeah,
Awesome. What would you say have been the three biggest lessons you've learned from your time in the real world?
they are simple. They are really obvious, but I think they are the most important ones I've learned and the most powerful ones, and the ones that I can use the most. And the first one is the importance of human psychology in everything we do, and how to be careful with words that you use when speaking to someone. It has massive impact on my, it had massive impact on my life, because my relationships with other people started to, well, flourish after I've started talking the way I talk now. So,
And two more?
uh, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the second one is the importance of self-accountability. I was actually never self-accountable before I joined the real world. It's when I've discovered the brotherhood that is surrounding me, where I've actually started to be a little bit intimidated by it after I saw so many wins, and I was still getting no money from my clients. So yeah, self-accountability is the second, the most important that you can ever learn. And the third one is the importance of knowing sales. The negotiation part is actually really important in every area of your life, because every day in some way you are negotiating. And it gave me a lot more value as in personal life than even in copywriting, which was weird at first.
Alexander, man, just listen to you. With all this knowledge, you're going to go far in life if you continue down this trajectory. I really look forward to seeing your progress. Okay, so great answers, very profound. For my next question, I'm wondering what kind of an impact would you say Tate has had on you?
Well, basically, he has a dramatic impact on my life. He taught me utmost accountability for my actions, but also I've realized how sad of a person I was. And basically, if it wasn't for him, I would probably in next 3, 4 years, I would be deep in my depression. I would be, well, eating junk food every day and working 9 to 5. So now I believe that I want to bring more value to the table. I want my mom and my parents to be proud of me. I want, yeah, I just want to become the best version of myself. That's my goal in my journey.
Beautiful. And now that you're on this trajectory, where do you see your life heading in 6 months to 1 year?
Wow, that's a good question. So, I will still probably in school, but I would be much more competent in every day. Well, every day I will just become better and better. Um, well, I can see a long journey ahead of me, but yeah, I can't wait.
Right. Fair. And okay, for my final question, for people who might be on the fence about not sure whether the real world is a scam, not sure whether or not to join, what advice would you have for them?
Well, it's real simple. It's like you see so much value that it provides even from the outside of the real world. You can see it on, for example, in this interview, how it changed my life. And yeah, so it's only $50, which yeah, is maybe in some countries it's a lot. In Poland, it's a sum of money. Well, but $50, it's not as much as the value you receive back as soon as you join. So I was literally blown by value. So um, the advice I give to the people still skeptical about joining the real world is very simple, but I think it's very valuable. And it was just ask yourself this question: if is $50 really enough money to potentially work 9 to 5 for the rest of your life?
Right. Great answer. So, very interesting interview. Again, thank you, Alexander. For people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
Well, I have my Twitter in the description, so well, you can contact me there, ask questions there. So yeah,
Okay. So, yeah, I'll add it to the description of the video. Anyone who's interested about seeing more of Alex's journey, feel free to check that out. And again, Alex, I really want to see how you've progressed in the next few months. So we'll get you on for a follow-up interview then. But until that time, I wish you all the best. And yeah, till next time.
same for you. Thank you very much. Until next time.